We 96.3.
How did In Common come about?
I love the song In Common so much. It actually came together in an ill way because it was one of the last songs that we did for the record, and a lot of in the beginning of the album, I really wanted to talk about what's going on with us. Just what's going on with us.
Talk about it.
You know, and where are we and who are we and how are we feeling and how are we dealing and how are we, you know, living and triumphing and also able to be ourselves, you know, because I feel like one of the main themes and topics that I felt I really wanted to talk about was the way that we're so stereotyped, you know what I mean? We even stereotype ourselves.
Yep.
You know, and so like how to break out of this kind of way that we become, you know, 140 characters as opposed to the complex people that we are. And so I found that even though In Common came later, it really talked about, and it really felt like to me, just that feeling of like being a work in progress. You know, like we're all a little bit messed up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We're all a little bit trying to figure out like, who are we and where are we going? And that is like the most empowering feeling, to just acknowledge the fact that you're on a journey and like, who are we?
You've had, 15 Grammys at this point. I mean, listen, I just had to do that real quick. You know what I mean? Just as a little reminder. I mean, do people expect you to just stay as a big celebrity person and not get involved with like the real issues that you talk about? I mean, does the industry, you know, look at you funny a little bit?
I don't think so. I think actually people kind of look to me to be more about the people. You know what I mean? And for the people, and like about what's happening in the world around us, and, you know, honest and communicating, you know, different issues that are happening in the world, just, you know, on a human level, emotional level. I think people want me to do that, and
that's great,
and
man.
I feel really that's what I want to do, so I'm glad, because I just want to be who I am, you know.
In Common will be off the album, which, do we know the date, any information
No
on it?
date right now, just, you know, starting to just really introduce some new music and understand the spectrum of the titanic energy that's coming with the sound and just with the music and the album and the conversations we're gonna have.
Is Egypt gonna produce a record on it? Are we gonna get a beat?
I have been asked that before. I have been asked if Egypt was gonna produce on it. He doesn't have a song on the album. He didn't write me one.
Did you talk to his agent first?
I'm gonna have to call his people. I'm like, He wrote Kendrick one, but you know, he didn't write me one yet. Although he did have a vibe the other day that was cool. I had to record it. It was good. Something about hate to love, or love to hate, or hate to love. I don't know. He was playing with something.
And look, I know his people. I'll make a call for you. It's not a problem. So I'm excited about this album.
You are gonna feel. I feel like you're gonna feel things you never felt before. That's something that I hear a lot from people who hear the music. They are really struck by it. Like, it feels like something that's brand new, and at the same time it feels very familiar. People have told me that it feels like to them the prelude even to songs in A minor in a lot of ways, like that they've started to know me better, because every song, the most beautiful thing about music is the way that it is personal. You know, it's personal to me and it's personal to you. And so I find that people really feel like when they describe what it means to them, it's amazing where it takes it. But the most important thing for me was to create a dialogue, a conversation, something that we could like all get into. Like, how are we feeling about inner beauty? How are we feeling about, you know, addiction? How are we feeling about these very interesting topics about us as people that I think you're gonna really get into and be like, whoa, what does that mean to me? What's mine?
When you first decided to wear no makeup, was the team concerned? Were they like, hey, listen, chill a little maybe? Or were you like, look, this is what it is, I'm doing it? And, you know, were there pushbacks?
You know, there wasn't, it wasn't like that really. It wasn't like this whole thing where we had a big meeting. It was like, okay, here's the next step that we're gonna do in the branding. What we're gonna do is we're gonna create. You know, it wasn't like that. It was like a very natural thing. We had talked about it because one of the things we talked about, even while creating the music again, which so much of it came from conversations, was even just like the excessive kind of the excessive almost difficulty it is as a woman or a girl to like live up to this image of perfection that we're shown. And it's like, whoa, I don't know who that is. I don't necessarily see myself in that. And just talking about how does that feel when, you know, as a girl, you know, you grow up and you see, you know, different people and like all the magazines are super airbrushed. And
Oh, yeah.
it's like, nobody looks like that. Not even the person who actually modeled there looks like that.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And that's not even their fault, because it's
Yeah.
happened to me. There's been times where I get back a thing, I'm like, my arm is not that size.
Yeah.
Like serious, and it's scary. It's
Yeah.
like freaky and weird, and so again, so we just would have conversations about like potentially being conscious about that, and like really just like making sure that we were and I was really who I am. Like this
Yeah.
is who I am.
And I think that's important. It was funny. I was like reading up articles, and there were some people who were like, well, yeah, it's easy for Alicia Keys to wear no makeup because she's beautiful. And it's like, but that's the point. You know, she's doing what she wants to do, and you could still wear makeup. She's not knocking you for wearing makeup.
Definitely. It's really metaphorical.
Yeah.
Really, it's a metaphor and this is just my story.
Right.
This is my personal story for me to remember to be fully who I am, and not to feel like I have to change who I am to please another person's desire. It's like,
Yes.
be who you are and say how you feel and be fully immersed in your you-ness, and hey, that means I wear makeup. That doesn't mean I don't wear makeup at all. That doesn't mean I don't like lipstick, and I don't like some blush, and I don't put on like, it's not, and some days less and some days more. It's like, it's all good. It has nothing to do with makeup.
Right.
It has to do with like us as people, as human beings, as women, being comfortable to be however makes you feel good. Do it for you.
Yes. What was the one thing you would say you were insecure about? Because so many girls look at you and they're just like, you're insecure?
I know what you mean. But yeah, I'm totally insecure. We're all insecure.
Yeah.
Like, we're all trying to figure out, you know, who we are, and like, man, how do I deal with that thing? And how do I deal with that issue? I mean, you know, I think that on so many levels, one of my biggest things has always been like, really, I found like, even with this album, one of the reasons why I started really talking so honestly and so clearly and trying to understand, like, because I found that I even became so censored. Like, I became so like politically freaking correct.
Yeah.
It was like too much.
Yeah.
I'm like, so now I can't even have an opinion. Now I
Right.
can't even have an opinion. Now it's to the point where I'm actually like a picture on the wall, only smiling, like this can't be good. You know, this can't be good. So I actually started the record off really writing like a kind of crazy list of like all the things I was annoyed at.
So great.
which is I encourage, and you need to kind of update it.
Yeah.
I probably need to do a new one.
Yeah.
You know, currently, but it was so liberating to just talk about that. One of the main things I was annoyed at was myself. I was annoyed at myself for valuing people's opinions of me so much that it would change the choice I would have made naturally for myself, so that they would approve of my, my choice or my opinion. And that started to become like too much, you know, and I feel like we kind of do that as human beings, but especially as women.
Ugh.
Like, I don't subscribe to the whole like women are catty thing. I don't believe that. I feel
Right.
like we have much camaraderie and much love for each other, and we want to help each other and see each other win. But I feel like we as women, at some point we learned how to please people
Yeah.
so much that like our first thing is, what are you?
Yes.
How can you? And it's
Do
part
I
of
need
the,
to do something? What do I need to do? What is it me? It's like, God.
we really want to please people so much. And I think, and there's nothing wrong with that. Look, that's a
Right.
beautiful way to be, as long as you then don't forget to please yourself.
Absolutely.
Which is hard to do, like, because you're so focused on, you want to please your kids, you want to please your husband, you want to please your mother, you want to please your boss, you want to please everybody has to be happy. Are they happy with my performance? Are they happy with, yo,
yeah.
it's pressure. like, whoa, can I be off? Can I be off for a quick second?
Let's
It's
just be
cool.
off. Yeah.
It's okay. So it's like a lot. And I think, it's a lot to talk about, which is what this music is so beautifully and wonderfully doing, and being able to have that conversation. And for me, just to be like, okay with me talking about my thing too.
How is it being married to a musician? Do you guys get on each other's nerves about music? You're like, no, listen, Swiss, you're not gonna tell me how to write this. I mean, do you guys have these, oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think mostly we don't normally work together. Actually, mostly, he does his thing and I do my thing, and that's very cool. And then we kind of connect at some point. Be like, oh, babe, I just did this thing for and I'm like, wow, that's crazy. I love this part. And I'll say, oh, I just came back with this. Oh, that's dope. What if you put a little? Oh, I like that idea. That type of thing is normally how it goes. For this album, we did work together. And we didn't mean to work together. And the funniest part was the first day that we actually started writing together, I was just in the studio I'm a loner. Like, I'm in the studio kind of by myself.
Great. Yeah.
I do my own thing. And I was just in there one day listening to some music. And sometimes I just it was the very beginning. So I was creating the vibe and what was happening. I was just listening to music, like, what am I feeling? Where are we at? And he came in and kind of sat down on the couch. I said, what's up? I was like, hey. So I just kept playing my music, and so he was like, we should work on something. And I was like, well, right now I'm actually I'm actually playing some music right now, so I'm just kind of just chilling, doing my thing. He was like, okay, no, that's cool, okay. Oh, that sounds good. So 10 minutes passed. So I'm just playing my vibe. I'm playing Miriam Makeba, and I'm just digging. I'm finding some interesting things. He's like, so why don't we go work on something? And I was like, what? Babe, right now, I'm not really trying to work. I'm taking stuff in. You know what I mean? I'm receiving a vibe.
Yeah.
So.
All right, I guess we'll do something. All right.
So
what's on your mind?
He goes away. I finish my thing. I was like, okay. So I try to find him because I'm about to head home, and he's downstairs in another room. Kill it. This thing he was working on was crazy. I walk in the room like, whoa, what is that? He was like, I tried to say we should work on. And that night, I remember, was the night that we started to write. And it was just totally natural. We started to write these lyrics for this one song that's actually on the album called She Don't Really Care, which is wait till you hear this. And we wrote it driving home in the car. And by the time we got home, this song was written. And I was like, we should do this again tomorrow.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm just saying.
I kept trying to tell you, but you kept dismissing me.
So mostly it's very natural,
I love that.
and it's really easy. And again, we have our own world, so
Love it.
it's all good. He lives in his world, I live in my world, and sometimes those come together. And and sometimes even it's actually, babe, I don't like that. And he might say to me nah, I'm not feeling that thing, and it's cool. It's cool. It's that's part of the creative process.
Do you guys still have date nights? Yes? Is this, give us some game out here.
The most important thing is absolutely finding those special moments, because we're so good at, and for anybody in the beginning of everything, you're like, oh, we're going to do this, and we're going out here, and let's try this, do this place, and I found this cool, that place. And, you're all exploring and trying things and everything at the very beginning. And I think, because he and I are really best friends.
That's awesome.
So we settle in a place where it's we're cool, and we're not all out stressing each other out. It's we also have similar lifestyles, so that we can say, oh yeah, I understand. I totally get it. You got to travel for this thing last minute, or you got to be out here pretty late. We get it. We're not bugging out over those type of things. But I think really the most important thing is to plan the time together, because it's easy. One of the things that we realized early is that we could schedule each other right out of each other's lives. We could be I'm here.
Exactly.
But when are we gonna get together? So we learned that real early, and so I learned we gotta even schedule morning cuddle time.
Yeah. Oh.
Like you do, because 6 a.m. and then the baby's up, and then boom, you got to get the kids ready for school by like 7:30, and then whoa, and then by that time you got to be to work by 10 or something, and then finish. Over. Like you're out the bed at 5:30, and like that's it. You're not coming back. Some mornings I'm like, well, hold up. Let's make sure we have like like a little sleep into 9, like a little like sleep into it sounds crazy, but I think it's relevant to many people who have families and jobs, and you know, how do you make sure that there's time for you and your number one, you know, and of course the kids are so important and your family is so important, but like the way that it started has to be like honored. It's not easy either. It's not easy, but when you put time and thought into it, and I think what's also important is that each partner has to say if they're feeling like maybe that's slipping.
Got it.
Before you get all angry and you not doing that, and you ain't never the last time that we, and before you get to that point, man or woman, say, you know, babe, it's been a minute since we got a chance to like hang out and be together, and like let's make sure we don't like, let's plan something. I feel like you have to say that before it gets to the place where then you're angry about it.
I 100% agree.
You know, that helps.
Look, you know, a line I like to use is, you know, we need to connect. You know,
can we connect?
I just want to hang out. You know, that means like I'm going crazy, and things are about to get real fucking nuts right now.
So you better figure someplace to take me before it gets wild out here.
Just use that line the other day. It's great.
We need to connect.
Yeah, we need to connect. And down deep inside, like I'm fuming.
Right, you are furious. Gosh. It's important before the fury comes, because it's hard to control the fury. Once it's there, like there's no turning back.
It's there.
And we get really silent, like as human beings.
Yeah,
we get really like, no, it's cool. No, everything. We excuse it all when we know we're not cool.
Yes.
It's like, just don't be cool. Be like, nah, I'm not cool with that. Like, nah, that's not cool. Trying to work on that. Just like in the moment, as opposed to hours and days later. Like be in the moment, say like, nah, that doesn't feel very comfortable.
And I feel like guys, not to give them a break, a lot of times they don't know. A lot of times they're like, oh, wait, you want what?
Yeah. I mean, how can you know if you're not saying it, right?
They're like, oh, I thought you were okay because you just said you were okay.
So don't say you're okay when you're not okay. Oh, because we do that. No, I'm fine.
Yeah. Oh.
I'm good.
Yeah.
You are not good. You're obviously not good.
That was so great,
right?
Too. No, it's fine. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Don't lie. Be like, I'm not fine. It feels crazy and I'm upset. And like, what we gonna do?
Gosh,
it's hard, man.
If women just ran the world, it'd be better.
It would be. I agree.
Now, you've done just about everything. Who's left for you to work with musically?
It's ill. I've been thinking about this a lot lately, because I'm like, I never got to make my song with Prince.
Yeah.
Like, man, I didn't, you know, here you are thinking people are going to be around forever. And then they will, you know.
Musically, right.
But I'm like, man, we were supposed to have something together that we created, and I didn't get to do it. And so kind of I've been thinking about that. I'm like, wait, Sade is somebody that I really would like to do something with. Lauryn Hill, for the longest, you know, I feel like we have definitely similar spirits and energy that I'd love to create something with. I love the vibes. I love FKA Twigs vibes a lot. I love Alabama Shakes.
Nice.
You know what I mean? I think they're absolutely crazy. Man, I think that there's still so many dope people. I really like Anderson .Paak. I think that he's dope. You know, I think there's so many interesting people just like doing their thing. And so, you know, I like Chance the Rapper a lot. I think that he's dope. So it's just like, there's a lot to do. In so many ways, I feel like I'm just starting. You know what I mean? And
I love this from you right now.
It's just, I feel like I'm just cracking the tip of even my greatness. You know what I mean? So I really get very excited about all the things that are still, you know, coming.
Alicia Keys, I could literally talk to you for hours.
It's good.
Like literally hours, from high briefs to like everything.
We didn't talk about high briefs.
Yes, this was
We'll talk
before
about
the
that next
camera.
time.
Yes, we're going to save it for the next time. When the album comes out, we're going to talk about this. I absolutely love your energy. I love what you're doing and what you stand for, and it's needed. And, you know,
Thank you,
just we
Mama.
really do appreciate it.
Thank you. That
Of
means so
course.
much to me. I love you.
Yeah, I love you,
Great
man.
to build and talk. Congratulations
Thank
on
you.
everything you're doing. Keep shining and
Thank
being like
you.
busting all
Hey.
the doors down.
Hey, we
Busting
gotta
all
do
the
it.
doors down.